Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
How are you all today? Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. I think we can start the class now. Confirm to me if you can hear me.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's switch off our videos so that we can maximize the bandwidth of the internet and as part of the etiquette of online activity. So let's switch off our videos, and at any point that you have something to say, you raise up your hand and we can recognize you. Once again, I welcome you all to another edition of our leadership class. Again, we use this medium to thank University of Ilorin for this wonderful initiative of bringing this kind of program together for the final year students of the school. The whole essence is towards building good leaders, because this is one of the ingredients of development. Without good leadership, we can hardly move. And as we can all testify to happenings around us within the country and beyond, you will see that one of the basic problems we have currently is that of leadership. And that's why this program is quite important for all of us. And I will advise all of us to take it as such, to take it very serious, go through the materials that we are set for us, follow the WhatsApp discussion. For this program, we have a number of partners. Those of you that you are assigned to Icitify Solutions are those we expect to be with us. So if you are not part of Icitify solution team, you identify your partner and you sign up with them, because the program is going to be graded. You are going to be awarded certificate. And so those activities which you do are very, very important. Having said that, at Icitify Solution, we've packed together a number of activities that will make you enjoy your program with us. And that's why we implore you to follow us as we go gradually. This is the first week, and this is the second live class. We have a number of activities which we've given out, and we want you to follow those activities. The assignments will also be there. So follow those activities, return your assignment. We have this live engagement. After this live engagement, we'll have some other WhatsApp engagement by Saturday. Olawumi, could you please switch off your video? Olawumi, or there's something. Please switch off your video. So last time we met, we discussed the introductory aspect of leadership. And I want to hear three of you speak. Give me a summary of what we have done the last class. I want to see your hands up so that I can identify you. You can speak to us. Every activity we do is graded, is recorded. So make sure you participate actively in the programs. Okay, so who want to build the cat? Who want to take the lead? Olawale, Olarunde. Okay, let me have you. After that, I will take Oluwadamilola Mary. Then Deborah Oyebanji. Let's take that in that order. Okay, the first speaker, unmute
Good afternoon, sir.
and speak, please.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon. Are we to give the entire summary or part of what we grasped from the last
You
the
are
previous
asking a
class?
question with a question.
Okay. From the
Just,
previous class.
yeah.
Okay, it was we discussed about the introductory aspect of leadership and the roles which are expected as a leader. As being a leader, it is expected that most of the activities, from what I understood, must be delegated. And as to being a leader does not mean he or she is meant to carry the whole responsibility. So whatever it's meant to be leadership, it is to be taken out or to be executed from hierarchical orders.
Okay, thank you. The next speaker, okay, Deborah, can you please speak?
Good evening,
Oyebanji.
sir.
Good evening, Deborah. How are you?
Fine, sir. So from the last class, I learned that leadership is an essential component of our life. Is a concept that we can't do without, and it's cut across every aspect of our lives. Then it has different elements, and among the elements is vision, influence, developing your followers, making decisions, and other elements. And we're made to understand that leadership has different importances, to build future leaders, to get to adapt to change and other importance. And leadership have different impact areas. It can be at the individual level, team level, organizational level, or even in the community, that's the societal level. And also we were meant to understand that there are different thoughts, like the beliefs of people in the past through the historical perspective of people. Like there are some that believe that there's a particular theory, I think great man theory, it believes that leaders are born, they are not made, while another one believes that is an inherent trait. And we have modern theories too that tells us about situational leadership. That one is based on the situation. You apply the style. You apply a style based on the situation. Then we have contingency uh, theories. We have transactional. That's like give and take. When you do this, I will give you this. We have transformational leadership. This one is to develop, like, to make people better version of themselves, I guess. And we have adaptive leadership and so on and so forth. And we have the religious perspective, Christianity and Islamic perspective. Christianity perspective is like majorly on servant, a kind of servant leadership. You, if as a leader, you serve your followers, and they are, from their perspective, this person is very humble, responsible, and so on. Then Islam too, you must, from their own perspective, is divine trust and responsibility, fairness in dealings, etc. And also we have different styles or approaches
Thank
of
you. Thank you. Let Ibirogba take those styles of leadership. Ibirogba, are you there? Okay. Now let's move on from where we stopped, and I thank all of you for participating actively, and it shows that you really, I mean, did your revision very well. I'm indeed very glad. So after those foundations, the next topic is self-awareness and personal values. This topic also is very, very important, because when you talk about leadership, the concept of self-awareness and personal values, we can use this to actually rate our leaders. We can use this concept to actually evaluate ourselves and be able to determine the leadership approach which we want to use forthwith. Self-awareness and personal values consist of a lot of other uh, factors which are inherent in them. And it is the foundation of most leadership concepts, especially when you talk about emotional concepts of leadership. So this self-awareness is very, very important. Talk about emotional intelligence of a leader. Some of the factors which you want to bring in is that of self-awareness. So under self-awareness, we have different components. Part of it is the emotional self-awareness. A leader must be able to evaluate its own emotional self-awareness. How is your emotion? You can say it is the foundation for authentic leadership. It is also a key factor to sustainable success. This concept of self-awareness and personal value is also a driver for organizational culture. It can also be regarded as pathway to meaningful impact. Now, when you talk about self-awareness, what actually are we saying? It involves a leader being able to know his or her character, your feelings, your desires, your motives of doing things. These are part of what we call self-awareness. What character are you made of? What are your motives? What are your feelings, your emotions? What are those things you desire? They contribute a lot in determining your self-awareness. Also, there is a concept that is called SWOT analysis. By SWOT analysis, it means that you are able to make analysis of yourself vis-a-vis your strength. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are the blind spots which you have? That is what we regard as, that's that kind of analysis. Where exactly are your strengths? Some are gifted in critical thinking, some they are strong in empathy. So these are part of what you must be able to evaluate. And these are those factors that also constitute, your self-awareness. Also, you should be able to determine your impact on others. As a leader, you want to impact others. How are you able to do that? Is a function of your self-awareness. You should also be able to also have capacity to monitor perception of people, internal and external. The organization you are working, how do people see you? And the way people see you is based on your conduct, how you interact with people. Also, the perception of people outside that environment also matters. We have two critical dimensions to self-awareness. One is the internal self-awareness, understanding your own values. You must understand what are your passions, what are your aspirations. This constitutes your internal self-awareness. You must also recognize your reactions and their impact. When something happens, the way you react and what impact those reactions will have on your followers, on people around you, also constitutes those internal self-awareness. You have external self-awareness. You must understand how others view you. You are not an island. So the way others view you is also part of self-awareness. Do you even know the perception people have about you? And you must be able to align those self-perception with external perception. So it's not only about things you do, also is also a factor that how do people perceive you? Because some of these things are general in nature. Why self-awareness is so important in leadership? It has a lot of advantages. There is this research that was done, and it was established that 70 of leaders with high self-awareness lead high-performing teams. If you have leaders that take into cognizance this issue of self-awareness, you see that they will always lead high-performing teams. The teams which they head will most of the time perform excellently. Also, Another advantage of this is if you take the issue of self-awareness very well as a leader, you will be making good and better decisions always, because you've taken into cognizance a lot of factors. Apart from that, the credibility you have in your team and with your team will be high. And also the trust among your team members will also be very excellent. And that's why this issue of self-awareness for a leader is very, very important. A leader who is conscious of self-awareness will have a better way of managing conflict, and then will be able to manage relationship effectively, because you want to lead a team and there is no how you have a team and there will be no conflict. There must be conflict. Ability to manage conflict effectively is a good duty of leadership. And no good leader will be able to handle this aspect effectively, except that that leader takes very good care of the issue of self-awareness. And finally, the issue of emotional intelligence. A leader that is conscious of a self-awareness will always have an enhanced emotional intelligence. So that's why the issue of self-awareness is so important in leadership. Emotional self-awareness means that a leader recognizes his emotions during activities. And a good example is a leader who went on a project becomes irritable and makes hasty decisions. You know, we have some leaders that when deadlines are given, they do not work efficiently. So if you are a leader and you know that when you have deadlines for work, it puts you under pressure. It's a form of self-awareness. So the next thing is that leader must put in place what measure to prevent that kind of activity. In the case of Sarah, what she does is when under tension like that, she will, adopt a strategy which we call pause protocol. That is, she will sit down and take a pause 3 times like that during the meeting. That gives her much confidence and she'll be able to manage that meeting effectively. So that is an example of a leader who is aware of his, our limitations when you have a project that has very close timeline. We have the ability to be able to do what we call accurate self-assessment. This involves you giving yourself realistic assessment of your strength and your limitation without inflating any of them. There's a particular leader. His name is Michael. He works in the marketing department.
Zeno, please mute your mic.
And you know, as a leader, you have to have an idea of how financial transaction. You have to prepare budget, do it. And Michael has a very high phobia for anything mathematics. So that is part of being self-conscious of yourself. He's accurate about his self-assessment. So he knew he has a weak point in mathematics. So what it does was quickly align himself with somebody in the account unit, so that when he prepares those financial records, that person will give him a guide on how to do it. Because as a leader, you just have to be involved in some of these activities which you cannot escape. So it's your self-awareness that will make you to be able to give yourself accurate self-assessment. That, okay, in this area, I have a deficiency. You do that analysis that will say you look at your strength, look at your weakness. In the case of Michael, he was able to identify his weakness in arithmetic or calculations. And the moment you are able to identify your weakness, you will be able to find a solution to that. So that is why this aspect of self-awareness is very, very important that we know. A related concept is the issue of personal values. Now, understanding personal values, when you say something are your values, it means these are your core principles that guide your behavior, that will inform your decisions. You are saying that these are things that guide, that serve as your internal compass for ethical choices. The way you make your choices of things is based on your personal values. And it's also a foundation for purpose and meaning. And this is what also filter for opportunities and challenges. So this also is a very important aspect that a leader must define his personal values. What are your values? Honesty. Are you someone that value speaking the truth always? Some leaders do not count this as, a personal value. And these are some of those things that will inform what decisions you make. I give you a case of a man who is heading a particular company, and they are bidding for a contract. And those people came up with some offers. Okay, for you to get this, you must be able, it's an IT company that works with data. So the issue of data privacy, they needed to compromise it for them to be able to have access to the contract. But because of the personal values and organization values of truthfulness, the leader declined. That no, they have a policy, they have core values. See, most organizations will say, what are the core values? So individual too, you must have core values. These are values that shape your views of life, and it's going to be the one that guides your behavior. It's going to be the one that will inform your decisions. So this is also very important, that we must define our personal values. Common leadership values which everybody must have: integrity, honesty. Today, these are part of values that has been trashed in the society. We lack integrity. We've dumped honesty. So we are telling us that for us to be a good leader, we must revive these values of integrity and honesty. You're at home, you've been able to sight your friend coming to greet you, or perhaps you are owing him or her. Then the next thing, you just beacon on your brothers. Hey, tell him or her that I'm not at home. We have fathers that does that. We have mothers that does that. That is no honesty. You are at home, you tell your sibling to inform the other party that you are not at home. You are indirectly teaching them not to be honest. Some of these things, that's why we call it values. We learn them informally, where we stay, at home, our places of work. You see the way people, your leaders, the way they conduct themselves, the way they tell lies. So that means that invariably you are also taking or learning those things informally from them. In the same way, your younger ones or your subordinates will learn those things from you. So when we talk about leadership, don't look at it as president, governor, VC. Every one of us, we are leaders in our respective places. If you are at home, you are a leader, whatever position you are, because you have people under you that will be subordinate to you, that will be looking up to you. So is those values that they see in you, they tend to pick. So one of those generally accepted values is that of integrity and honesty. So if you are fond of telling lies always, you know that this is not a good value. And from today, you must start changing it. Always speak the truth. Even if it's going to affect you, speaking the truth, being honest is a virtue. Is a virtue. And that's why we are learning it as a value, a leadership value. So if you are a leader and every time you tell lies, anything happen, maybe you encounter a problem and you are asked what happened, because there is a problem, you want to cover the problem up, and you decide to lie. For a single lie, you need 10 additional lies to cover that single lie. But if you've spoken the truth, you've relieved yourself of burden of telling lies, and you can sincerely find solution to that problem. So please, this is a core leadership value: integrity and honesty. Accountability and responsibility. As a leader, you must know that you are accountable. Is a value that you must hold high. Anything you are given, anything that is assigned to you. You are heading a team, you are allocated a budget of 1 million, 200,000, 300,000. You must be able to account how you spend those money without inflating figures. Whatever belongs to anybody for taking part in that project, give them. Whatever is allotted to you, take yours and document everything so that you'll be able to render your account that, okay, on this project, this is what we have done. And if you are audited, you will know that what you have said is the truth. You must also be responsible. A project that is supposed to end 3 months, why do you allow it span up to 5 months? So you must be responsible. What you need to do, you have to do them on time, as at when it is necessary. So these are values. They are not just, so being accountable as a leader is not something that is special. And being responsible is also a value which is expected from a good leader. A leader must be courageous and you must be resilient. If you are leading a team, if there is a challenge, you must be at the forefront. You are leading a team, and when you you'll be the one at the back. No, that's not a value of a good leader. If there's any challenge, they should meet you in the forefront. You must be in the front. You must be courageous. If there is a problem, be the one to tackle the problem first. And don't relent until you get your result. You have to be empathetic and compassionate. It's also a value of a good leader. But empathy means you are showing love, you are considerate. The job you know is not possible to be done in 2 months. Why do you say your followers should go and do them in 2 months? You're not being fair, you're not being empathetic to them. So it's part of empathy that you show love to them. You must be concerned about their development, about what what affects them. There's a project to be done, and one of your team member is down, and you are insisting that he must do his own part of the job. That's not compassionate, because you know he is down, he's not feeling fine. It's part of your empathy and being compassionate to inquire about his or her welfare. Know that he has gone for medication and know that he's taking his medication. It's part of being a good leader. But all you care is to work, to deliver. That's not a good quality of, even if your followers are dying, you are going to be losing your best hands if you are not an empathetic leader, if you are not a compassionate leader. Also, a value is innovation and adaptability. As a leader, you must innovate. The ability to innovate is a value. It's a core value of a leader. And you must be able to adapt to changing situations. You don't believe things must work the way, as stated. You must be able to adapt. Also, service and humility. These are core values of a leader. You must emphasize service and you must be humble. No matter what you have, if it is money, you will not be the first person that will have money. All those things are just ephemeral, are just for a while. Is it your position that is now getting you intoxicated? No, be humble. Don't talk to people anyhow. Don't feel you're on top of everybody. No, because nothing you have that is so special. If you can think deeply, at a point you are going to lose it. So be humble. The way you address your junior, the way you address people that are not up to your standard in terms of monetary, in terms of knowledge, in terms of anything, shows your humility. Calm down. Be humble. That's the shoulders that you are, taking high. Put it down. Let people relate with you. And that's why in some organization, they adopt different strategies so that people will be able to relate freely. I know for an organization, you address yourself by your first name. Even if you are, the MD, the this, you find the junior ones will call you by your first name. John is calling his oga by the first name. John is calling a professor by a first name. Peter. Why they are doing that? It's not that they want to downgrade. No, is that they want smooth relationship between the leaders and the led, so that the leaders are humble. Is an humble leader that the followers can move closer to. And if you are not closer to the people you are leading, you will be operating at another level. Just like we have in our various societies, our leaders are not operating at our level, they are in another level because they are not humble. We don't have access to them. So, as a good leader, part of the values which you must uphold is humility. Humble yourself is very, very, very important. So, values-based leadership model. This is a model for a value-based leadership. Is on 4 pillars. Self-reflection. As a leader, you must regularly examine your actions and your thoughts. What are you thinking? What are those actions which you do? You find time to reflect over them. It makes you better. You look at, you balance things. If you have to do something, look at various perspectives. There is no one way to doing things. And that's why you meet your team. Let people give you various suggestions. Sir, we can do it this way. Sir, we can do it that way. Sir, we can do it this way. And then by the time you take the pool of suggestions, then you will be able to take very, very rich decision because you have considered multiple perspectives. So you've seen through the lenses of different people. But if you are an arrogant leader that will only consider your own perspective of things, you'll not be able to take a far-reaching decision. And that's because you lack a lot of some of these values which we are talking about. And then you must be true to self-confidence. You must be able to understand capabilities, not only of yourself, also of your followers. You'll be able to evaluate what each person can do and then be able to let them do to that level. And then you have genuine humility. recognizing the contribution of others. It's part of you being humble. As a leader, a lot of people will work for you. The contribution they are making, you must recognize them. You send somebody to Kafansha to get you something or to make a research for you. The person came back, another person had gone to Shokoto, another one had gone to Enugu. So if you are now presenting the result of your outcome, you must recognize that these people also contributed in your achievement, in the team's achievement. So it gives them the sense of belonging. And that is also very important for you as a leader. Common leadership blind spots. 95% of people believe they are self-aware, but only 10 to 15 people, 10 to 15% truly are. A lot of people, when you meet them, a lot of leaders, you feel, this concept, I'm on top of it. But in reality, only about 10 to 15% of leaders are actually mindful of this particular self-awareness that we've discussed. It's what we call the CEO disease. Reduce feedback as you climb the ladder. When you are a CEO, you really do not want feedback from people. The moment you are going, as you are going up, the lower the feedback you get from your subordinate, and which is bad. So if you are not getting good feedback, you just be in another world doing what you feel you are doing that is good, whereas you are not getting feedback from your subordinate. Confirmation bias and selective perception is also a gap. Sometimes you are biased already before you even make decision based on maybe somebody you don't like, or you have a bad perception about a particular concept or a person. So it makes you to make biased decision. Sometimes those the decision you make will be selective because your perception itself is also very selective at a point in time. So it's a gap. So these are some of the gap which we need to address in the issue of self-awareness. I've been talking for a while, so let me have a feedback from you guys on what we've been discussing up to now. Who want to give me a summary? I called Ibirogba the other time. Adenike, are you available? Can you speak to us on what we've been speaking for the past 40 minutes? What
Good evening.
are your insights? Okay,
Good
Ibirogba.
evening, sir.
Good evening. How are you?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. What I've learned today is that as a leader, you must be self-aware of your strengths, your values, and the opportunities around you, so that you will be able to do better and you will be more efficient. I've also learned
Wonderful.
that there are types of self awareness. It can be internal and external. Internal self awareness is when you are the one giving yourself realistic opinions about what you can do, your values, and your principles. Why external self awareness is what people perceive about you, people's perception about your value, about your character, and about how you relate with them.
Thank you. Kolawole, are you there? Can you contribute to the discussion?
Yes, sir. I'm here, sir. So
Okay.
from what I learned from what you explained, As regards leadership, we are expected to, as a leader is expected to have regards to his or our subordinate, and not to be too authoritative at every aspect of decision delegation.
Okay, one final person to speak. Lawal Lukman, Atere, you have the floor.
Yes, sir. I learned a lot about what we call leadership and the roles of leadership. So and the ways in which a leader can improve his or herself. So by accepting feedback, so let people move closer to you to understand for you to understand what the leadership entails. So and as well, so there are forms and types of leadership, common leadership, blind spots, and some other things like that, sir. So that's
Thank
those are the
you.
things that I
Lawal,
understand from the class,
uh,
sir.
thank you.
Yes, sir.
Olubukola Deborah, you have the floor now. After you, Abiodun.
Good evening, sir.
Good
Thank you so
evening.
much for the class, sir. What stood out for me in this class would be that a leader must be empathetic, and you don't have to give control and like showing that you are because you are at the upper level, you want to just march on or command anybody anyhow. So as a leader, it is expected of such leader to hear opinions of people and then direct them in accordance to whatever he has delegated for them. So that's what I've learned in this class. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Abiodun,
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
good evening.
Yes, sir. I learned a lot, but first I want to talk about the leadership values, which is quite important to me, because when you are in a practical situation, you know that these things are not easy. But for me, I think it's very important. I think I will make use of them. So first and foremost, it has to do with integrity and honesty. These are very germane things. Accountability and responsibility, courage and resilience. A leader should be empathetic, and compassionate. So, of course, and a leader should be innovative and has a mind of adaptation. So, and lastly, a leader should be humble enough, and of course, a leader should be ready to serve. And this is when you look, when you just taboo this with the sayings of the Prophet of Islam. He said something about that, about leadership. He said that the leader of the community should be the person that will serve them. So, of course, these are
Mhm.
very good values for me, and I would say thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm really very impressed at your attention, and because this leadership aspect is very, very important, more important now than ever, because we are going through a lot of leadership stress in our community. And if they say you are the future leaders, there is no lie about that. Very soon, the set of people leading us will leave the stage. Either they like it or they don't. But those of you coming up now, what are the values you are bringing up? That's the crux of the matter. Now you have a lot of our boys, our youth, both male and female, into Yahoo Yahoo. It's part of lack of integrity and honesty. There's nothing, nobody can, defend Yahoo Yahoo. Even those who are doing it, everybody knows that this is cyber crime. They are criminals. But because of Personal gains. Somebody making 1 million, 20 million, 30 million to buy cars, to buy this, to buy that. You know, we've killed the value system. I met a boy just this Friday, and he was one of my students. And when we met, he was showing me that he's now into real estate. But because I don't have time, and when he chats me, I want to know what's the source of your income. I know definitely is either is into Yahoo Yahoo. I know so many young guys that are learning programming with me, and then all of a sudden you see that they have turned into something else. And I told them I've been in IT for more than 15 years. What I believe is the only way you make money is through legitimate source. If you are engaging in crime, don't say because those people you don't know them, and then you do 419 and you pack some millions in dollars, and then you start disturbing the street with vehicle and building houses as if that is the hallmark of but because that's what we celebrate in the society, that what makes them to feel that you have arrived. No, we must change that orientation. A good leader must value integrity and honesty. Your source of income must be legit. If somebody is bringing an offer to you and you can see traces of criminal activities in there, you don't participate. Even if you go hungry, it's better to go hungry in dignity than to be filled with rubbish. So these are values which we want us, because that's the essence of the class. The few of you that will be here, be part of you are going somewhere. In fact, you are a leader in your own domain. Some of you are class rep. Some of you are, leaders in your community. Some of you are leaders in your churches, in your mosque, and you are, you are saddled with handling some few thousands of naira. How do you handle those things without telling lies? You drank pure water, but when you want to put it down, you put down bottled water, 200 naira. And whereas it's 100 naira, you spend on pure water. You've told a lie. You are not a good leader. The contract sum is 20,000. Why are you adding 10,000? For what? It's not good. So these are the things that are lacking in the system that we must bring back, those value system. And beyond the books, because of time, we will not be able to take the book review. I want all of you to go and read The 7 Habits of a Leader by Stephen Covey. You read the book. I have made a summary in, some of these Word documents which we sent to you. You know, those are words of, grammar. But beyond those grammars, the practical aspect is how it affects us in the society, not just about learning principles and theories. It's about application of those things. If we are not applying it and you take leadership course and you have the certificate, of what essence? Those people that are leading us, that drag us into this problem, you see a lot of them with certificates, with a lot of degrees, with a lot of, but those values are dead. So we need to resuscitate those values, learn them in principle, action them, let them be part of your life. Take them as your values. Values are things you don't live, irrespective of the offers for you to live your values. You will not. That's why you see those who have championed development or in the societies, you see them, they held on to their values. Even at the point of people coming up with millions of naira and dollars, they do not leave those values, and that's why they excel. And that is the central message which we are giving us, that let's take this issue of leadership very, very seriously. Let's start looking inwards. Let's don't condemn. No, it's not about talking about leaders, how our leaders are bad, as if they are from the sun. No, they are from within us. And if care is not taken, when you get there, you will be worse. So it is now that we start embedding those good virtues, principles, values that we needed. We hold them, and then we start applying them in our day-to-day activities, in our household, in our community, in our churches, our mosque, everywhere. Because these values are dead everywhere. They are dead everywhere in the society now. And that's why we are where we are today. But I am sure the future is bright with this crop of youth which we have now, taking leadership class, and they are ready to abide by those teachings. So, because of time, this online engagement, we want it to be just 1 hour interaction. On Saturday, just follow us. Uh, the information will be on the WhatsApp platform. The portal is activated. You have your assignment that's already there. So the link will be sent to you. Just go and register. Sign up with your email, the one you want, and then register for the 2 courses that are applicable to you. Even if it is only one, go through your dashboard on the You Inspire dashboard and get to know the courses which you are assigned to Icitify solution. So when we drop the link of our portal, go to the portal. We already have your data, but we don't want to populate your data because some of you are complaining about the email. So we want you to sign up yourself, and it's very easy. So sign up, pick those courses that are applicable, and then our interaction will also go to the portal, and also we'll have interaction on WhatsApp. Our discussion now will be on WhatsApp, that we are going to, dissect all these things which we've said now. We interact with ourselves maybe for another 1 hour on Saturday on WhatsApp. So we are going to be giving the information. If you have questions, you can, send your questions ahead, then we can discuss them together. We might have, we'll have another live session on Sunday for the second week. So this is the first week. The syllabus is loaded, and we want to make sure that we lay a good foundation so that we get all those things we need very well, and we proceed from there. So I would like to thank you for your time, and I hope that the few words which we've shared together, we'll be able to relate them, practicalize them, and then let us start seeing good leaders in our community. I'll take my time. One of these days, we'll organize ourselves. We'll see physically. It's also part of what we are planning. We'll see all of you physically in Lorraine one of these days. So let's put it as at the back of our mind. Let's keep on learning, create time, participate, interact with yourself, share knowledge, share resources, and we'll see again very soon. Thank you again for your time. Can you give me a round of applause and say thank you very much? We'll
Thank you
see
very much,
you
sir.
again
Thank you very much,
Thank you
soon.
very
sir.
much,
Thank
sir.
you very much,
Thank you.
sir.
Bye
Thank you very much,
bye.
sir.
Thank you
Very
very
much.
much,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Kindly help us release this one. This one, yes, sir.
I will. We'll
And
send
yes,
you.
about the seven habits period that you mentioned, sir.
Pardon?
No attendance.
Okay. Bye.